Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's say I think last time we finished Newton method.
Yes.
Because I think the last example for the Newton method, we did this example, 2.31. For the reciprocal of a number, we have developed the formula, then we find out the approximation and the error. Yeah. Now we finished the third numerical method. And as I told you, Newton method is one of the best method. But the only problem with the Newton method is this maqam we have here now, because we say derivative should not be 0 or derivative must exist. Otherwise, Newton method never converge, or we cannot use the Newton methods here. The main difficulty in the Newton method is this derivative. And of course, you remember that one here. To find the derivative is not a very easy job. Derivative is many function we have, derivative does not exist or exists equal to 0. And if this happen, of course, we cannot use a Newton formula. Now we move to the number 4th numerical method for solving the approximation of the simple root. We call a new method is called the secant methods here. And as I told you, what we have, Newton formula, the derivative is not easy job. So what we do in the Newton formula, we not take the derivative, we take its approximate value. Instead of taking the derivative, we take its approximate value. This is approximation value. I don't know, you remember your math 150 or not? In the math 150, you have this is the formula slope. And the slope means derivative at the given point. And this is the formula we have. So what we do in the case of Newton formula, instead of using f dash derivative, we use its approximate value. So when you put this value into the Newton formula, we have a new shape of the Newton formula. And this shape is called a secant formula. So what I did, we use this Newton formula, xn minus f of xn, taqsim f dash xn, and in place of x f dash xn, I use this value, and when we simplify, we have this one. More simplify, we have this one. If you don't want to simplify this one, you can use directly here. This formula is called the secant formula we have here now. Now you can see here, secant formula is also one of the good method we have, better than bisection method, better than fixed point method, but not better than Newton. Newton is the best one. But if you talk about practical point of view, the secant is a good one, because here we have no information of the derivative. We need only f of x, and we can find the approximation of the simple root we have here. So what is some point, good point and the bad point of the secant method? Secant method is an iterative method, like Newton, like bisection, like fixed point, is an iterative method, and every iterative method needs initial approximation to start. The secant method, like bisection method, need 2 initial approximation to start. That means if we want to use secant formula, we need x0 and we need x1, and that should be given by the teacher. Then Newton secant method converge very good. I'm not saying very fast only I use for the Newton. Converge very good, but the problem is no guarantee may converge, may the diverge here. And there is a one big problem in the secant method. If this happen, we cannot use a secant formula. Can any student give me idea what is the problem When we cannot use secant formula?
مقام 0.
Yes, so when maqam 0, and when your maqam becomes 0, when value of the function at the two initial approximation are same. If this happen, which is a very rare case, then we cannot use the fixed secant method. But generally, this is never happen here now. Now, we talk about the first example concerning with this one. All example we use secant method, which we already done before. Like the first example, many time I give in the exam. He say, show that the iterative formula for evaluating the reciprocal of n by the secant method is this formula. This is the secant formula for the reciprocal of n. We also did here last example last time. What is this formula? This formula is called the Newton formula for the reciprocal of n. Now we have a new formula for the reciprocal of n, which is a secant one here. So he says, show that this is a secant. No, that's very simple we have here now. So what we have now, we know what do you mean by reciprocal. Reciprocal mean 1 over n. So from here you have to find f of x, and I told you already how to find f of x. We say x is equal to 1 over n. It means 1 over x is equal to n because we want x should be power not 1. So 1 over x mean x power minus 1 equal to n. So then you can have f of x is equal to this one. This is the value of f of x. Put the value of f of x into this formula, and when you simplify, inshallah, you will finish with this one, which we are interested in. After you have, I show you how to simplify here, because this x minus x naught, this become cancel each other, this minus make this positive, and this is the same x1 by x2. This will go up, and then you can simplify. You can have this two up here. Then I use this one. I say use this formula to find out the first three approximation to find the first three approximation. And first three approximation mean, what is x1? Well, sorry, here n is equal to 1, not 0. So it means x2 equal to x1 plus 1 minus n x1 into x0. x0 given by the teacher, x1 is given by the teacher. And he say reciprocal of 5, and n is your what? 5. So you can use this formula. This gives you the first approximation, second approximation, and the third approximation. Now, please, here a student confuse always, because when I say find third approximation, what a student do, and maybe some of you will do also, they do what? They find x2 equal to this one and x3 equal to this one. This is a job. And then they say, you say find the third approximation. Third approximation mean x3. No, please, third approximation mean generalized case. What is third approximation mean? Third approximation mean we have to use the formula 3 times. Last time I give the problem in the exam, same, I say find the second approximation. And when I say find the second approximation, about 70% of students, they find x2. They say x2, you say second approximation, this is x2. No, please, second approximation mean you have to use the formula 2 times. First time you have this, second time you have this one. Does not mean x2 and x3, please. Don't confuse with this one. First approximation mean you have to use the formula 1 time. Second approximation mean you have to use the formula 2 times. And third approximation mean you have to use the formula 3 times. But in this formula, we are taking n is equal to from 1, not 0. Therefore, we can have a such case. And in the exam, maybe teacher can ask you find the absolute error. Can you give me what is the absolute error here? What is the exact solution? Any student?
1 over n.
1 over?
N or
N.
5.
N is your what? 5. Right? So 1 over n mean 1 over 5 mean 0.2. 0.2 is your exact solution. What is your approximation? 0.175, which is a very good approximation. Take the difference between. Let's take the second example also. This is also I give many times in the exam. He says, show that the secant method for finding the approximation of the square root of the positive number n is this one. You remember we did in the Newton case, the square root of, no, not square root, pth root, the generalized case. Here we are taking the particle case, the square root of positive number n is this one. This is the secant formula for finding the approximation of the square root of the positive number n. And then he say after develop this formula, find the first three approximation for the square root of 9 using initial approximation. This is 2 and 2.5 given. And then he say compute the absolute error. So whenever you do anything in your chapter number 2, I told you what is the first job you have to do. You always have to convert the given condition into the form of nonlinear equation. And when you have a nonlinear equation, you can always find the value of f of x. So what is the condition given you? The square root of n. And square root of n can be written as like this way. And then you can make, taking the square on both sides to make power x more than 1. So we have x squared minus n equal to 0. This is your f of x. Put the value of f of x into this formula and simplify. Inshallah, you will get this jawab. And then we finish the first part. And after finishing the first part, you have here now, he said, use this formula to find the third approximation. So that means you have to use the formula 3 times. So to use this formula, you need x naught given by the teacher. You need x naught given by the teacher. You need x1 given by the teacher. You need n. And he says square root of 9. And n is your 9. And here a student make confusion. They say n is 9 power half. No, it's the square root of 9 and n is your 9, not 9 power 1. So we can have you the formula here. And inshallah, you will get the first approximation, second and third approximation. Third approximation come in the form of x4 in the case of secant method only. And then you find the absolute error is what? Exact. Exact is your what? The square root of 9 minus approximation you calculate, and that's to give you the absolute error, which is very good, is a 10 minus 4 accuracy. How many? Only 3 times we use the formula. This is the same example we use. This is very simple one here. This is the same example which we use for secant method, for bisection method, for Newton method, for fixed point method. I use the same thing here. It's very simple in the sense here you are given f of x directly, you are given initial approximation, and you can use the formula easily like that one here. This is the example last time I gave in the final exam. No, sorry, in the midterm, I think. Use secant method to find the second approximation to secant method for the x value, and x is a point of this, the graph, and this graph is closest to this one. You remember this one, the same example we did in the case of Newton method. This is a point on the graph of y equal to 1 over x, and this is the point is 2, 1, and we want to find the minimum distance closest to this one, minimum distance between the point on the graph and the given point here. And you remember we did what? We used distance formula, which you already know here. And this is a distance formula we have here for this case. We have x minus 2 square and y minus 1 square. Open this murabba and you simplify, you have this one. And we want to minimize this function, but to minimize this function is difficult in the sense square, not difficult, but square root. So we can make power 2 on both sides because the minimum of d and d square exactly the same. We have no problem. So we call this mini d square as a f of x. This function we have to minimize. We have to minimize this function. And when we minimize this function, how can we minimize? Always like math 150, we take the derivative and put equal to 0. And when we take the derivative of put equal to 0, we have this one. And of course, what is this one? Anything is equal to 0, give you what? Your f of x in the chapter. And this is your f of x. Now, when you have f of x, no problem, become very simple. You just put the value of f of x at x and minus 1 in the formula. And inshallah, you will get, this is the jawab. This is the secant formula to find the distance between that one. Here, the point x value you can find. It's a second approximation. That means you use this formula 2 times. X2 is this and X3 is this. So you find X is 1.8667 and you need the point is what? X and Y. Y is 1 over X. So X you already find 1.8667 and Y you can find out 1 over 1.8667 which give you this, and that's the jawab of the problem. Same example, we use the Newton method. And this is also the same example which I solved with the help of bisection method. You remember I gave you in the bisection method example number 2.3, which I told you one of the good example. And what is that one? You are given two graph, y equal to x cubed plus 2x minus 1 and y equal to sine x. And they are intersecting. They are intersecting, and intersection mean their graph must be equal, and when they are equal, then you can find out easily your nonlinear equation. This, and when you have a nonlinear equation, you can find out f of x. And when you have a f of x, put the value of f of x at xn and xn minus 1, generalized case in the formula, and you, inshallah, you finish with this value. And now you use this formula 2 times, and yes, use the formula 2 times, and then you find x3. This is the value of x. You need the value of y. How can you find value of y? Put x3 in any function, either this or this one, and you have the jawab of the problem. This is called the secant method. Here, the secant method is a modification of the Newton method. And what is the modification? In the Newton method, we face difficulty of the maqam, which has derivative, and derivative always give us a problem. So what we do, we will take the approximate value of the derivative by using the slope formula, and then we have a new shape of the Newton formula, and that shape we call the secant method. Secant method is an iterative method. It needs 2 initial approximation to start, x0 and x1, and secant method converge very good, and no guarantee, maybe converge, maybe diverge. Newton method converge very fast, but if someone say from practical point of view, then of course the practical point of view, the secant method is better than the Newton method. Because why practical point of view? Because in the Newton method, we need two things. We need function and we have extra job f dash. But in secant method, we don't need f dash, we need only f. But order of convergence, faster and slow mean, in this case, of course, the Newton is the best one. Newton converge faster than the secant methods we have here. So alhamdulillah, we finish all the four numerical method for solving the simple root of the nonlinear equation. And what is the simple root mean? Root mean f of alpha equal to 0. What is simple root mean? F dash alpha should not be equal to 0. What is the basic of simple root? Basic of simple root mean the simple root mean not repeating. That means the roots are the different, not the same we have here. That's we call it the simple root. You have any question about any four method? If it's okay, then we move to the second part of the chapter, which is a multiple root. Yes, please. Okay. Let's move to the second part of the chapter, and the second part of the chapter is what? Approximation of the multiple root of a nonlinear equation. This part I didn't give you, send you the PDF file. Inshallah, maybe I will send you today because I already sent you one file, PDF file, which we already finished now, the material for that file, and we need the second part of the chapter number 2. I put in another PDF file, which I will send you inshallah soon. Now, approximation of the multiple root of the nonlinear equation. What is the multiple root? What does simple root mean? Simple root condition, you remember, is this one. We discuss. And what we have to discuss now? We discuss now the multiple root. And what is the condition of the multiple root? Condition of the multiple root is f dash alpha must equal to 0 when it is a root. Root means f of alpha equal to 0. And you remember that one here. Multiple root mean is repeating. So in this part of the chapter, when we talk about multiple root, we have to check two things. Number one, we must be sure, we must be guarantee it is a multiple root. And how to sure is a multiple root? We always use this condition. After having f, we take the derivative of f at alpha should equal to 0. This gives you guarantee it is a multiple root. But as I told you, what is the meaning? What is the basic of multiple root? The basic of multiple root is your multiple root is repeating. It's mean here we have to check first multiple root, and then we have to check how many times our multiple root is repeating. So that means we have to find order of multiplicity. Order multiplicity of a root mean your root is repeating how many times. That's the definition I give you to find, to check how many times your multiple root is repeating. We have to use this formula. We say this is a nonlinear equation and it has a root alpha, which is a multiple root, of course, and its order is m. Order m means it's repeating m time. How can we write the function now? We have a new formula for the function is x minus alpha power m into h of x. This alpha, what is the meaning of alpha? This alpha mean is a multiple root. And what is m here? M mean this multiple root is repeating how many times we have here. And what is hx? Hx is a part of the function, but this part of the function never have a multiple root. May have a simple root, but not multiple the root. But we are not interested in h, we are interested in this part of the function we have. But this is very difficult to use this definition to find m. What you have to do, you are given f nonlinear equation. From that f of x you have, and then you have to make tahleel and put into this form. Then power will give you that your multiple root is repeating how many times. For example, let's say I have a very simple case. You are given x cube is equal to 4x square minus 4x. This is nonlinear equation. Yes, it is nonlinear. When you have a nonlinear equation, you have to, first job you have to do, you find the f of x. And how to find f of x? Take all the term one side, make one side equal to the 0. It means, what is your f of x, please?
Cube minus
X cube
4x
minus 4x square
plus 4x.
plus 4x, right? Can I make the tahleel of this one? Yes. I can write here x square minus 4x plus 4 into
X.
this is okay, right? Because I just take the common. Then we go further in it. I make the tahleel of this one, the first one.
X minus 2.
Yeah, so it's a x minus 2 into
Square.
x minus 2, which become
Square.
x minus 2 square. And what we left? X. We can write here x minus 0. Same thing, right? And this is your, what is this one?
H of x.
This is h of x here. Now, what is your alpha, please? I call it. What is
2.
alpha?
2.
2. And what is your m?
2.
Is 2. We have here now. So this is a way you can find out here. Of course, when you see this one has a 3 root. One root is a 0, which is a simple root. Another is 2, and it is a multiple root, and it is repeating 2 times. So we have a 3 root. 0, 2, 2. We have a 3 root, but 2 is a multiple root we have here now. Now, as I told you, this is very difficult to find, make tahleel of. For example, let's say we have e power x minus x squared taqseem by 2 minus x minus 1. This is equal to 0. What is this one? This thing? This is your the f of x. Can you make tahleel of this one? Wallah, you can. I cannot, because I cannot make it. Maybe you are very good. Can you make tahleel? No chance. You cannot make it now. So how can I make, if we cannot make tahleel, how can I say to find the m? Because I say this one has one of the root for this one, which I root alpha, I call a. Alpha is a 0. And you can easily check. What is your f of 0? What is f of 0?
1 minus half.
Minus 0.
Minus 0, sorry.
Minus
Minus 0.
minus
Minus 1.
equal to
0.
right, because 1 minus 1 is a 0. It is guarantee that alpha equal to 0 is a root. Now we want to check it is simple or multiple. How can we check? We take
F dash.
f dash. What is f dash? E power x minus
1.
Now we check f dash at 0, right?
Yes.
Equal to what? 1 minus 0 minus
1.
which is equal to what?
0.
It means it is guarantee 100%. 0 is a root and it is a multiple root. And I told you, when you know it is a multiple root, you must know how many times it's repeating. That means what is the value of m? We cannot find out m by this formula. We need some shortcut. We need a simple rule to find m. And here I give a simple rule to find m in the form of lemma 2.2. And this lemma 2.2 will be what? To find the m. And what is the rule? We say the function and its derivative exists continuity at alpha, f of x is equal to 0 has a root alpha of order m, that f of x has a multiple root alpha and it's repeating m time. What does that mean? That means the highest derivative, m time derivative of alpha should not equal to 0, but before all this one must be equal to the 0. So that means what you do after you find f dash, which give you guarantee what?
It's repeat from one time.
Yeah, it is. Where is we find out? Where is we find it? This one? Not where do we find it? Where? Where we find out this one here? In the where somewhere? La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. We just did today. When I find f, not this one. Yeah, this one. We say f dash at alpha equal to 0. This will give you what? It is a multiple root. Now we want to check what is the value of m, how many times it's repeating. So what is the basic rule? Easy rule, simple rule is we have to continue to take the derivative unless derivative never equal to 0. It's mean, what is your job? You need to find out the second derivative, right? What is the second derivative, please? Can you
X
give me?
minus 1.
Second derivative.
Ex minus 1.
Ex minus 1. Check second derivative at 0. What is this one?
1.
I'm right? Is okay?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Now it's mean, as I told you, if your derivative becomes 0, you have to continue. Unless you stop when your order of derivative not equal to 0. We want to find out what? The third derivative. What is the third derivative of this one, please?
Ex.
Ex. And then you check third derivative at 0. And this is not equal to
0.
What is the third derivative at 0?
1.
Is a 1.
1.
Yeah, we don't need the jawab. We need only 0 or not equal to 0, right? Of course, the third derivative is not equal to 0. It's mean, what is your m?
3.
M is a 3. That means this alpha equal to 0 is a multiple root and it is repeating 3 times. If, for example, your third derivative is also 0, continue. You have to continue unless your derivative not becomes 0. The order of the derivative, which is not equal to 0, that is the value of m. So to find m, we have two rules. One is this one, make tahlil, which is I told you, very, very difficult. But if you have a simple function polynomial, you can use this one as to make tahlil align. But generally we use this lemma 2.2 to find the value of n. And what is that one? Continue that. If we say order is m, it means its m derivative should not be equal to 0, but before all f dash, f double dash, f3 dash, and m minus 1 dash should be equal to 0. Now you understand this mean, please? What is multiple root mean? Multiple root mean f dash alpha should equal to 0. Now, then when you know it is multiple root, you have to check also it's repeating how many times. That means you have to find its order of multiplicity. Order of multiplicity mean how many times it is repeating. Then you have to do what? How to find them? You have to continue to take the derivative unless your derivative not equal to the 0. Yes. Now we have all the information. What we need now? We need some numerical method to find the approximation of the multiple root, like the simple root. For simple, we use 4 numerical method, and for multiple root, we will use only one method, which is called modify Newton methods we have here. Before I give you this one, let's take the simple example. Find the multiplicity of the multiple root alpha equal to 1 for this case. So it's mean you have to find m. So what is your function? First you need the function. You take all the from one side, make one side equal to function is this. And what is f of 1? F of 1, when you find out f of 1, ln 1 always 0. So this is 0 minus 0, which is equal to 0. This give you guarantee what? What this give you the guarantee? That alpha equal to 1 is a root. Now when you know the root, then we have to check simple or multiple. How can we check simple or multiple? We generally take the first derivative. What is the first derivative of this one? You are very good how to find derivative. Product rule you apply, you have this one. And then you have to check the derivative at 1, which is give you 0, because ln 1 is 0. 1 over 1 is 1. 1 minus 1 is a 0. So we have f dash is 1. This means it is a multiple root. When you have a multiple root, you have to check how many times it's repeating. You have to continue to take the derivative of that one. When you take next derivative, ln x derivative is 1 over x. 1 derivative 0. Derivative of 1 over x is minus 1 over x square, minus positive. So we have this one. Check your derivative at alpha 1, which is 2, 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1, which is 1, 1. So we have a 2. Yes. The order of multiplicity of this one is what? The 2. So m equal to 2. That's the way. How can you find out the value of the order of multiplicity? Order of multiplicity. Now we talk about some methods here. I give this problem in the exam one time, and alhamdulillah, no one solved the question. If the student not solve the problem in the exam, teacher always happy, because he don't have to check. Can you give me the jawab here, please? This is 1 second problem. No, not second, sorry. 1 minute. Let's say 1 minute problem. I give them this problem in the exam. We are given this 2 nonlinear equation. This is nonlinear. This is nonlinear. Yes, it is. Both are nonlinear. I say, if I use Newton method, then Newton method for 1. Why Newton method for 1 equation is very good. Very good mean converge very fast, and for the other it converge very slow. And I told you, give me the simple idea why. You have any idea about this one? Any student?
The derivative, teacher.
No. Simple idea. Derivative is there too much job. Up to now, we discuss how many type of the root?
2 types.
2 types, simple and
Multiple.
And in the very first or second lecture, in the both lecture, I mentioned you, Newton method, one of the best method for what?
Simple roots.
And it is very bad for
Multiple roots.
multiple roots. That's only you have to say. When I say Newton method for one equation is very good, other is not good, it's mean you have to check only the root is the same. Root is alpha equal to 0 for both is same. So what you have to do, you check. A is equal to what? 0, given by the teacher. Let's talk about the first one. What is your f? X e power x e power
X.
x. I'm right? So, what is f of 0?
0.
0. Alhamdulillah, this is root. Now you check only what?
F
What is f dash? E power x?
E power x plus x e power x.
Right. What is your f dash?
1.
1. And 1 is not equal to 0. It means what is your alpha for this equation?
It's simple root.
Simple root. Now, talk about the second function. Yes, you can easily check if you want. F of 0 equal to what?
0.
0, rigid root. You need f dash. What is f dash?
2x
2x e power x plus
plus
x square
a
square
power
e
x.
x.
e power x. What is f dash? At 0.
0.
0. What does this mean?
Multiple root.
Multiple. So he say which equation Newton method is good. So you simply say the Newton method is good for first equation, because for first equation alpha equal to 0 is a simple root. For second it is the multiple root, and we know for multiple root Newton is not a very good one. Newton only good one for the simple root. I solved this one here. Lest we talk about the method for the multiple root, and the method for the multiple root we have is called modify Newton method. Modify Newton the method, and modify Newton method I give you in 2 different shapes. First shape I call first modify, but in exam I will never mention you the first and the second one. But it has a 2 shape, exactly the same meaning, modify Newton method, and this is called the modify Newton method, or the first modify Newton method for the multiple root we have here, for the multiple root. What does the multiple root mean? Multiple root mean m must be what?
1
than
or
0.
2.
Allahu
or more.
Akbar. Multiple root, m must be what?
More than 1.
Yes, it's a more than 1, because multiple mean repeating, and repeating always mean more than 1. If m is equal to 1, what is this become?
Simple.
Yeah, simple.
It's a simple Newton method for the simple root. So what is modification of simple 2 into m? Only we multiply by m, but with the condition here, m must be greater than the 1. This is called the first Newton modify formula. But remember that one here, this formula need what? M. And how to find M? I told you the procedure in the form of lemma. How to find M? We have to continuously take the derivative
Derivative.
unless the derivative is not equal to 0. It means when we use this formula, we must know alpha. Alpha must be given. Alpha mean exact solution must be given. Let's say alpha is not given. Can I use this formula? No, because I cannot find M. So this is modified formula. When we can use? When your alpha is given. But there is a second modifier. Example, inshallah, we discuss next time. This is a second modified Newton formula. And this is slightly difficult, not difficult, is a lengthy one. And this is a modified formula, but I call it second modify. And what is that one? Xn minus f of xn, f dash xn taqseem f dash n square minus f of xn f double. Allah, I don't know how you memorize here now, but you have to. What is the difference between the first one and the second one? Can you, anyone, what is the difference between first one and second one? Both are modified.
There is no M.
As this is only the first formula need M, the second formula does not need the M. If in exam teacher not give you alpha, then you cannot use this formula. The first one, if alpha is not given, you cannot use this formula. It means you have to use this formula, which is both are the modified. Their approximation for both exactly not exactly, but almost same, 99.9999% same jawab, same accuracy. But only the difference is maybe we don't know alpha. If we don't know alpha, we can use this formula. For example, this example, we continue inshallah next time. He said find the second approximation, but I will use second in exam. I will never call first modify and the second one. In exam, always modify. I say use modify, not second, modify Newton method to find the first approximation to the multiple root of this one. So what is multiple root? He not give you here. It means alpha is not given. When alpha is not given, you cannot find alpha yourself. I told you in 254. Exact solution, you never find yourself. Your job only to find out what? Approximation. So it means no alpha given. It means no chance you can use the M. You have to use this formula. We continue, inshallah, more example of this one with some modified formula next time. For multiple root, you can use all the four methods which we discussed: bisection, Newton, fixed point, and secant. You can also use, but I told you we use the highest one, the best one in the simple root is the Newton. But when we will use, I will show you in example, inshallah, Newton will be very, very slow. When Newton is slow, how can be the fixed point on the other one? So it means the best method for simple root is the Newton. Best method for multiple root is modify Newton method. Yes, please. Any question come from you now? Is okay? Let's take your attendance now. Number one.
Yes, Dr. عيسى مطوع.
Number two.
سعد العمر.
You not come last time, Isa. Last time.
Yes, Doctor. Yeah, didn't come.
Yeah. Number two.
سعد العمر.
Okay, not last time. Number three. Number four. Number five. Number six.
محمد القحطاني. Yes, number 6.
Number seven. Number 8.
زياد الواصل.
Number 9.
Yes, Dr. Osama.
Number 10.
Hussein.
Number 11.
Mr. Khalifa.
Slightly higher, please. Energy.
Yes.
No
Walid.
breakfast. Number 12, please.
مشاري عبد المحسن.
Good. Like this one. My student should be like this, full of energy. 13.
Yes, سعيد المطيري.
14.
فهد علي.
15.
عبد الله العمر.
16.
بندر العيدان.
17.
عمر أنهابي.
18. 19. 20.
محمد عبد الله.
You missed last lecture. 21.
عبد الله سديس.
You missed last lecture. 22. Hadi. Number 23. Number 23. 24.
Yes, here.
25.
محمد
26.
الشيخ.
25 is okay. 26.
محمد العمر.
27.
حسام خالد.
28.
عبد العزيز العنزي.
29.
نايف سويرم.
30.
وائل الشهري.
31.
الوليد.
32. 33.
يس ناصر.
34.
Present. فيصل حربي.
Faisal?
Yes, فيصل حربي.
Yeah. 35. 36.
35 دكتور سلطان.
Sultan. 36.
سلطان المسلم.
37.
مشاري.
38.
سلطان المطيري.
39.
عبد الرحمن التركي.
40. Abdul Mohsen. موجود؟ No. 41.
خير دكتور موجود.
Mohsen, ها؟
يس العليان.
Yeah, okay. 41. 42.
خالد العصيمي.
No, what is 42 is Muhammad bin Ahmed.
Yes, محمد أحمد البراكس.
42, right? 43, Khalid.
خالد العصيمي.
Yeah.
Yes.
44
يس مهند أبو عساف.
and 45.
Yes, Turkey safe.
خلاص. Finish everyone. Now please, this is inshallah, I think I will print today the new sheet because I think no student will come and out. So I will print and I will send you inshallah the second part of the chapter, PDF file and the attendance sheet to you. Okay, finish everyone?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
I enrolled late in the class and I'm not sure which number I'm in.
What is your name? What is your name?
مؤيد الجنوبي.
Moed. What is your name? Is you registered in the first case or late?
No, I enrolled late in the class.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Huh? Welcome now. Give your serial number.
Okay, thank you. 4411. Do you want me to type it? You need my ID?
Just give the ID.
Okay. I typed it in the chat.
Four 6926.
441106 926.
Wallah, you sure you're my student? Because this number is not with me. This number is not with me here. Maybe you joined late here now. Anyhow, you're 46 now. And inshallah, I will print, then I will tell you, right? I will send you, inshallah, the file. Okay?
Oh, okay. Thank you
Right.
very much.
Okay. Finish, everyone. See you then, inshallah, on Tuesday. Bye.